What the social enterprise provider will look for above all else is the viability of the transaction. The loan or the investment is going to be repaid. Unlike a pure banking transaction, though, the social enterprise provider is looking for the social impacts, economic, environmental or social, and you've got to make those clear in your proposal. The provider will also look for supporting a good team. From my experience, social enterprises are always enthusiastic about their product and service, but they need to have a team about them that are going to cover financial, marketing and all the other issues that are important to the success of the enterprise. I think in that respect, it's finance plus support, and if you haven't got that team around you, find the support you can. Finance plus support gives you a much better chance of success. Also, has the social enterprise considered the alternatives? What if it all goes wrong? And the social enterprise provider will be looking for those thought through alternatives to explain at the end of the day what is going to happen to my investment or my loan if you do not hit your targets or you do not achieve the contracts. That is very important because the loan or the investment is over a longer term and your forecast might be over a shorter term. And finally, an understanding of what that social enterprise provider is looking for. And that's very important now with the new influx of different types of finance. It might be for preference shares. So do some research as to what the social enterprise provider is looking for would be my one last tip for the social enterprise. The business plan is the most important tool, and that basically has to show the viability of the investment to the finance provider. So that business plan needs to be looked at and owned by the social enterprise. I think you need to concentrate on how you are going to achieve what you say in that business plan, whether that be a market for your product or whether at the end of the day be a market for your service over a period of time. And that needs to be included within the plan. And concentration on that, from my experience in lending to the social enterprise sector over a number of years, is one of the key issues. Realism must be in the forecasts. It's no good, in actual fact, providing forecasts which are unreal and unrealistic for the future. You've got to have realism in those forecasts, and the assumptions that you make should be clear. In the current climate, most social enterprise providers will also be looking for another feature. In the current climate, the feature that most people will look for is the creation or the preservation of jobs. And so you would need, as a social enterprise, to show how that is going to be achieved from the investment and from your activity. And finally, I think it's important that this is a partnership between the social enterprise provider and the finance provider and the social enterprise. And you need to actually keep in touch after the loan or the investment has been made to succeed. And that's important from both sides. But I think the people who do keep in touch and receive help and support, as I mentioned earlier, are basically going to be the ones who succeed.